I've personally spent over $5 million on Facebook ads, so take it from me. I understand how complicated they can first seem when you get into an ad account. There's so many buttons and metrics and numbers, and it's like, what do I actually need to be focusing on? What really matters, what doesn't, and what's most importantly going to get me results for my business and make sure that I don't waste any spend and I get the most bang for my buck. So if that's you, if you've ever considered running ads or you're actively running ads for your own brand, then this video is for you, because we're going to be going through most important campaigns that honestly, these are the only campaigns you really need to run, especially when you're starting out. So we're going to get laser focused, explain each of these campaigns, what they do, and how it fits into the overall picture to make sure that you are running at the highest ROAS possible and not wasting any spend. Let's do it. So inside our ad account, here's the Facebook account that we used for the 0 to 7 figure challenge store. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. But we started the store back on July 1st, and running through to the end of May, it has spent $357,844.99, which sounds like a lot of money, I know. But trust me, it's really not like it sounds, because it started off at really low spend, $50, $100 a day, and we only gradually increase the spend once we get profitable. And it looks like there's a lot of campaigns in this account, but if I had to boil it down to the 3 most important ones, like honestly the only ones that you really need, it would be these right here. Your testing campaign, your master CBO, your flagship campaign, and your retargeting. And the reason that these 3 campaigns work is that it hits on the 3 main categories that you need when driving traffic. And that is, you need a lot of testing, you need to be driving cold traffic, and you need to be retargeting those people. We're going to go through each of those campaigns now to explain exactly how we want to set this up. So starting off with the testing campaign, this is the campaign where typically it's lower budget. I had a couple of ad sets in here that I just let run for a while. That's why the spend is as high as it is. But it's 9 times out of 10, it's going to be very low spend, 5 to 10%. And this is where you're adding in all of your ad creatives, all your different ad copies, offers, and stuff, and you're testing all of them as essentially in your bullpen. Super low budget. You have them all in there so that when once you find a winner, you're able to graduate it to your main CBO. And if these terms are going over your head, you can check out the 21-hour course. It's like 5.5 hours of it is just Facebook ads. So it goes into much more depth than this. But long story short, what I want you to get from this video is understanding that you need to have testing, you need to be driving cold traffic, and you need to be retargeting to those people. You test by using either PP or conversions at like a $5 to $10 a day budget. Not really to get sales initially. It's just to find what your winning ads are. And the big mistake that I see a lot of people make is they sit down with like 5, maybe 6 ads, and they launch it, and then they check back the results in a day or so. They see that they spent a lot, normally a super high cost per link click above like, $1.50, $2, and then they get frustrated, say Facebook ads don't work, and then they go back to the drawing board, or they just quit entirely. Massive mistake they need to understand is that the top advertisers on Facebook split test and test around 7 times more creative than the average person. It might even be higher than that now, but you need to have a lot of different ad images and like videos that you're able to test along with different ad copy and offers, and that's where you're going to find the winners. But that takes testing 50, 60, 70 different images and videos, like at least a dozen different ad copies and headlines. Like, it takes volume to get good at this. And the reason we break this, and I say that this is one of the most important campaigns, is that a lot of people try to do that testing in their flagship. That's the campaign that, like, we want this to be our steady Eddie that's able to just run and be consistently performing for us. And if you're doing your testing in this campaign, then it's going to be very tumultuous. You want the testing to happen in an isolated scenario and not at all like in your main campaign. But then say once you run 50, 60 creatives through it, you find what your winners are. That's when you can start looking at our second campaign, which is our master CBO. This one's just targeting US. You can do worldwide as well. But the way that you do this is you have 5 to 6 ad sets within it, and you narrow it down to your top 3 or 4 ads. And those 3 or 4 ads are the same ones in every single ad set. The reason we do CBOs and we do open targeting, Advantage Plus, everything is Facebook's algorithm has gotten very good that if you give it good ads with a good offer, with good creative, like it's going to find the people that convert. And so you can kind of just take your hands off the wheel and let Facebook do its thing for the most part. And then over time, your frequency, like it started off at like $50 and increase it by 15 to 20% every 2 to 3 days. And over time, you're going to walk that budget up. But then eventually you'll hit a point where, your ads start to die out a little bit. And the good news is that if you're continuing to do even more testing in the background of running this, then you have new ads that you can just move up to that campaign. That's exactly what we do. Yeah, so we have and notice the ROAS of this campaign. This is the really important piece. We have, it's been running at 3.16 ROAS, which is really good. But we have our website traffic, so people have been to our website but didn't purchase. We had a slideshow ad, which we're retargeting the people who viewed that to 95%. Then we have the people who engaged with our Facebook page and Instagram page. And then we have the people who engaged with our ads. And we create all of these audiences using our custom audiences. And then we are able to show these people new ads, like new offers, like either free shipping or discounts to get them to come back and buy. And that's what leads to a super high ROAS, like you see here, is, those different offers. And the reason this is so important is a lot of people miss this and they just run, their master CBO, but this is leaving so much money on the table. Like, look at the difference in ROAS, 2.3 to a 3.16. That's a massive jump in profit margin. So while this is much lower spend, by not retargeting these people, you're leaving a ton of money on the table. Retargeting, you can think of it as like testing, to use a metaphor, testing is like if you had 50 different billboard ideas and you sat down with a focus group of people and you said, which one of these billboards would you be most interested in? You had to pay each of those people to come to the focus group. Pay them like next to nothing, much less than the cost of actually putting up the billboard. So it's worthwhile to do that focus group. Then this is like you put up the billboard on the highway or in town and you get people to see it. Hopefully it's a winning billboard that you already vetted with like a testing group, and this is getting people to come into your store. Some of them will purchase, some of them won't, but if you've done good testing, you'll still be running at a profitable ROAS, which is return on ad spend. And then retargeting is like the people that either saw your billboard on the highway or they went into your store, looked around, and then didn't buy for some reason. You can get, unlike with a billboard metaphor, you're able to get back in front of those people. You're able to automatically run out the door and follow them down the highway and keep showing them more billboards to try to get them to come back in, which is an insane ability, like, to be able to do. It's pretty awesome that we can do that because it leads to really high returns, and it makes sense. People that already expressed interest in coming into your store, there's a lot less of them because, that's why the spend is lower. But if somebody already walked into your store and showed interest in your products, at least on some level, or by them walking into your store, that's them showing interest. So you know that there's some minor things like either money back guarantee or customer testimonials or a free shipping offer. There's certain things you could say that would most likely get them to come back and purchase, which is why smaller audience, so less spend, but the return is much higher. So, and again, if you're feeling lost when you're looking at your Facebook ads, just take a deep breath. Know that if you focus on these 3 main campaigns, you will be 80% of the way there. Yes, there's like different buttons and all this different stuff across the top, and there's all these different objectives you can use, but if you can just, in my experience at least, if you can just hone in and do a really good job with 3 main campaigns, 1 to test, 1 to drive your traffic, and 1 to retarget, you'll be the majority of the way there. And the biggest piece, the X factor, is making sure that you have really good products that people actually want. That makes this, almost obsolete. But yeah, and if you have more questions, that's what we have the 21-hour course for. It's completely free. It's over 5.5 hours of literally just Facebook ads. So go check that out and join us in the free school group as well, where we're doing free group calls and stuff like that. And comment down below if this was helpful. I'll make more content like this. It's a little bit different, but appreciate you guys watching all the way through. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.